rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate. We're helping you understand your buying decisions, making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Every day, that's our goal. 7 years on air now and syndicated 90-plus outlets. So we'd love to help you with your buying decisions right here and support our local economy by supporting our local show contributors right here in Tampa Bay. Helping you win in any marketplace is what we talk about here on the Consumer Quarterback Show.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you may need it. 813-750-0550. That's our Consumer Advocate Hotline. Off-air number, 813-750-0550. Of course, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors on the show. And this segment is brought to you by the Premium Quality Cleaning, Jade's Premium Quality Cleaning, the official cleaning partner of the show. And she does a great job cleaning our real estate property. She would love to clean yours. She's a woman-owned business, minority-owned business, COVID-19 certified for infection prevention and control, Jade's Premium Quality Cleaning. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. And as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I want to let you know about a couple of hot listings that we've got right here in Tampa Bay. We've got property at 5832 Beverly Drive. This is up in Pasco County, and this is up in the Hudson area. 5832 Beverly Drive in Hudson. Build your dream home, sell boat deep water, easy Gulf access, enjoy the best Florida lifestyle living at your vacant lot. Build your dream home. 5832 Beverly Drive in Tampa, or in Hudson rather. Right around $200,000 price point. Plus, we've got a new listing in Riverview. This one's 13204 Fawn Lily Drive in Riverview. This property is a large home. It's over 4,500 square feet, 6 bedrooms, 5 bath, 3-car garage, resort-style amenities, and a covered screen lanai. Great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. Check out our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, it's an honor to welcome in our next expert contributor, Dr. Harold Shinitzky. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. You've been on several radio networks, TV, NBC, MSNBC, Animal Planet, Radio Disney as well, and so you're spending some time here with us on Salem Radio. Thanks so much for that.
Pleasure to be a part of this. Obviously, you are a leader in the field, and it's a pleasure on my part to be a part of this team then.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So we look at, this is an interesting topic. So let's hold up your book for me as well. It's for our listeners out there. So you're a published author as well, A Champion's Mindset, 15 Mental Conditioning Steps to Becoming a Champion Athlete. Former USF football player, James, our producer, was involved in sports. A lot of folks out there involved in sports. What do you think some of the biggest challenges that athletes have?
Well, if you're looking at the developing athlete, the ability as an amateur, I always talk about there are 2 things you really want to work on: improve your skill and decrease your errors. Too many people are focusing on wins and losses. And really, if you're an amateur not being paid, you want to figure out what are your skill sets that you need to work on. You need to be honest about that. So having realistic expectations and figuring out what are the things that you can do to increase your probability of success.
Yeah. So work on your strengths and at the same time limit the mistakes, so then you are working on your weaknesses as well.
And whether you're an amateur or pro, think about it. When they look at how many unforced errors are in tennis or how many turnovers there are in football, it's usually the team with the least amount of that. And so if you're playing an individual sport or a team sport, you have to take on responsibility and accountability to minimize the errors.
Prime example right here was Tampa Bay. We had lots of yardage. We were making but then Winston would just throw that late pick or even an early pick, an interception. And then now, the idea is hopefully Brady will limit those those mistakes. So great idea. I love that. And then when you look at some of the athletes that you've worked with over the years, what's some success stories that kind of stick out in your mind?
Well, one that just jumps out right away is one of the golfers I was working with. He actually was the number 1 golfer at his university, and his coach referred him to me because his emotions, unfortunately, overwhelmed him. And as he said, if I sank a birdie, one better than I'm supposed to, everyone on the course knew that I was out here. And if I sank a bogey, one worse than I'm supposed to, everyone in the county knew I was out here.
Right.
And his mentality was just, he had an unrealistic expectation. When he landed on the green, he wanted to get down in 1. And if he didn't get down in 1, he would unfortunately have an emotional meltdown. And as we all know, if your emotions supersede your cognitions, you're at risk of saying and do things later on that you regret. So his unrealistic expectation was 1, and then he would beat himself up. The lowest pro golfer on the PGA Tour with the best putting average per hole isn't even close to 1. It was 1.67 when he looked. So he's closer to 2, an unrealistic expectation than beating himself up. Once he realized that it was an unrealistic expectation, he was able to focus on the process. The next weekend, he shot a course record 63.
Wow. Yeah,
that's what this is all about.
That's interesting. You hear Tony Robbins tell stories about how he's helped athletes and they were breaking down, and even people that aren't athletes that are thinking about committing suicide. So it really is. There's so much going on up here.
Yep.
And I've had FBI hostage negotiator, former FBI hostage negotiator Chris Voss on the show, and he's written a couple great books. Never Split the Difference. He talks about the fact that we are, as human beings, as much as we like to think we're rational, we're irrational beings, and we are super emotional beings.
Yeah.
And that the more that you can understand that and figure out how to use that to your advantage, especially from a negotiation standpoint, is what he talks a lot about. But I can imagine, from what you were saying before the show as well, with the managing your highs, managing your lows.
Right. The idea, and whether you're in business or not, so if you're going up in front of corporate executives to do a pitch, if you're doing a sales presentation, since there are no guarantees, the only thing you ever do in life, ever, is increase your probability of success. What are the things that I can do to get me towards matriculating down the football field, towards the end zone? The curious aspect, I always talk about emotions out, information in.
Yeah.
And we know that from the research that if we can transfer from going from emotion, which is just primal, to actually learning from the opportunity, we can do better. And so I always encourage people, after something happens, whether it's successful or unsuccessful, ask yourself what I call the post-shot routine. Everyone's got a pre-shot routine or a pre-game routine, but come up with a post-shot routine, which is what was the plan, what actually happened, and what do I learn from this so as not to repeat it? Or if you're good, what was the plan, what actually happened, what do I learn from it so as to repeat it? You literally make a private lesson from you to you.
Right. Yeah, I like that, because so many times when it's, again, it's a high, we're going to celebrate it, we're going to do well, and then when it's a low, we kind of beat ourselves up over it. And, God, I can't believe that happened. And when you really just break it down and you look at, okay, what were the fundamentals? What did maybe in my presentation I forgot to show this really awesome video.
The most important point.
Yeah, exactly. You overlook something and you left it behind. So that's interesting. If you just joined us, we're talking with Dr. Harold Shinitzky here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's a licensed psychologist here on the show, and he's a published author as well. And I think it's interesting. It's very topical. How do you think COVID-19 has affected not only your profession but the mentality of Americans in general? And not even just the athletes, but
anyone in society. One of the things that I've been talking to all of my athletes about since COVID started is that you have to do 3 things to manage, first off, the social isolation. And that is, you want to be able to, every day, since we've lost our routines, you have to have productive activities, enjoyable activities, and lead with compassion. So every day you have to figure out what are going to be things that are accomplishments, start goals, end goals, a sense of worth and value and purpose for yourself. So purpose. You need, productivities. So you have to have enjoyables. So things that are rewarding for you. I have no idea what makes you smile. I can only figure out what makes me happy. So everyone has to find reinforcers and rewards. Otherwise, what's the whole point of this?
Right.
Sometimes you can find a reward, something that's enjoyable, that's also productive. So learning could be something that someone does for fun, but also it's learning. And lastly, the compassion idea. Since you only control yourself, and we're all under a lot of stress, understanding that other people might be irritable, annoying, snarky, sarcastic, and even rude to loved ones, that since you control yourself, don't mirror them. Don't lower yourself to that, but understand. Have kindness.
Yeah.
So those are important. But with COVID, that is not just happening to you as an individual. So a golfer might say, hey, it's really windy at the British Open. Yeah, but it's not just windy for you. Or hot at the Australian Open. Well, it's called summer down there. It's not just hot for you. It's an external that's constant. And so with COVID-19, it's not just a restriction or a limit on you, it's on everyone. So it's an external constant. And whenever it's an external constant, you either complain about it and use it as an excuse for not being successful, or you adapt. So everyone that I'm working with, I'm pointing out either you can make an excuse as the explanation for why you're doing poorly, not working out, not eating right, not motivating yourself, or you can adapt and actually use this as an opportunity to get better, to reach your pinnacle.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so that's a big part of it, and just so you're growing as well. So every time that you're doing something positive, you're saying, okay, I'm contributing to myself, I'm growing my business, or I'm growing the relationship potentially. So I think that's right on point. When
I
you
just
look at
literally talked to one of my guys in the parking lot who was asking, what do I do now? Because his season has just come to a close in the NBA. And we were talking about, for him, what does he want to do? And for him, it's always been, I want to learn a language.
There you go.
So let's use this time to do it. Go for it.
Yeah, COVID's given people a lot of spare time. Hey, write your book. Do invest in yourself. Do whatever you've thought about doing, and something that what I've always looked back at my career is what's a differentiator for me. Radio show, writing a book. What can I invest in that's going to really return exponential rewards? And it's been those things. I want to get your take on the Big Ten finally joining the party, coming to play football this year. Okay, we're going to play some football. What do you think about the Big Ten and then the Pac-12?
I am super happy because I am a Big Ten graduate. And so
Okay.
I'm always in favor of cheering on my team. The goal, I really hope more than anything, is the safety of the players. That has to be primary. The opportunity for everyone to do their best athletically. And I always emphasize that they're student athletes, which means they're student first, athlete second. So I do want to make sure that they're safe. The opportunity for them to put forth their best effort, have a good product, to be able to work towards the the college playoffs, that would be fantastic. Ohio State is in fact one of the top teams in the nation.
Yep.
So I know that they were chomping at the bit. And I know other teams like Clemson, and they want to play against the best in order to make this an official year. But obviously we want to look at safety first.
Yeah.
Pac, they had the biggest outbreak originally. And I think there was a huge scare. The fires that are going on out there are also affecting the health of the players, so that's going to play into will they have the opportunity? Yeah,
good point. Yeah, it's interesting when you think about all the challenges, all the things happening in election year, the polarization. How does that affect human beings? Just the polarization of constantly left versus right, everywhere you turn, every ad you hear. And then some people, if you happen to chime in on something, it's like the social media aspect. Let's comment on both the election and then also social media. What are some tips in order to cope?
Well, you're right. There is this onslaught of left versus right. Either you're with us or you're the enemy, this idea. And I really want to emphasize to individuals to have an open ear and an open eye to look at the possible other perspectives.
Yeah.
If we as a people, as a species, could try to understand someone else's point of view, it doesn't mean you have to agree with them.
Right.
But to understand it. It can be different. It doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Yeah.
And as a species, we tend to see difference, and we tend to then say, my perspective is right, yours is wrong. I am superior, you are inferior. And it turns into this almost dehumanizing quality, which is truly unfortunate. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
Right.
I mean, we will either, survive together or die alone. We need to figure out how to work together.
Yeah.
During election year, there is this kind of tendency of tribalism.
Yeah.
And I really hope that, especially the individuals who are listening today, that can really understand it's not merely black and white. There's more gray. I tend to believe there's more people who are centrists rather than left and right.
Sure.
And if we can figure out how to work with each other, especially as a nation, that's only going to improve everyone in terms of the quality of life. Businesses, our economy will be productive.
Right on.
It's not just simply you're against me and politicizing things.
Yeah.
But actually have that, like I said, an open eye and open ear to look at another perspective.
We got a couple minutes left, and I wanted to get your take on, I watched a documentary the other day. It was about social media and the influence of social media and tech companies. A lot of the tech, the VPs, the founders, they left their positions and said, hey, I'm not going to work at this company any longer. I'm selling my stock or whatever. And they won't let their kids be on the social media. Going off the top of my head, it was the suicide rate for children, 14 to 18, was up 183% from 2012, I think it was. So what can we do as parents, as a society, to try to bring those numbers, try to reverse those numbers or minimize those numbers?
Great point. There's a lot of research that shows that individuals who have a pre-existing condition of anxiety or depression, the longer they're on social media, the more anxious and depressed they actually get. We're exposed to this whitewashed presentation by other individuals about the perfect experience of their life. I'm not there, therefore I'm missing out. The old FOMO and that. The amazing thing is, and I always want parents to understand this, if you can look to your children and emphasize with the ability to listen, to hear them, they may say things that are dramatic and you don't want to just minimize them. We want to have a sensitive ear. There are some children who unfortunately make a tendency of looking at all or none reasoning. They catastrophize.
Yeah.
And if you have a child who's doing that, or as you're pointing out, it could be a teen or an adult, they're at risk at that point. So someone who talks about being hopeless or helpless, they're at risk of harm.
Yeah.
If they tend to look at, here's a situation, it's always going to be this way, and I have no way of affecting it.
Yeah.
Now we start getting into a very scary point of view for individuals.
Right.
If it's external and they're blaming it on someone else, they can act out aggressively. If it's because of them that they can't succeed, that's where we see self-harm. And so we always want to help build resilient kids. And actually, I have a prevention program called Project Champions, where we go out to schools and communities and faith-based organizations to help develop resilient kids.
I like it.
Because there's a lot of stress on them.
That's awesome. DrShinitzky.com. Would you spell it for us? The
Sure.
website?
DrShinitzky.com.
All right, DrShinitzky.com. Awesome stuff. Thanks for dropping those nuggets of advice and wisdom with us. And we'll hope to have you back on at some point as well.
It's an honor and pleasure. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right. When we come back, we've got Gregg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay, coming in. He's going to talk about indoor air quality, some of the unknowns that you don't understand happening inside your own home right here on the show. Plus, we have a feel-good story of the day. Find out about this brave teen that saves his mom and 3 children by pulling them from a burning car. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Every day we're going to tell you something good in our feel-good story of the day, and we interview all of our expert contributors. We want you to think about our show as the hub of your financial, your business, your real estate wheel. You know, all of those spokes extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners, our on-air expert contributors that take time out of their busy schedule. They come in and educate you about their business, their service, their line of work. And we would love for you to support our show partners by reaching out to the hotline or hitting us up on the website. And this segment is brought to you by Golf Cart Depot. Say hello to our friends over at the Golf Cart Depot, a.k.a. Discovery Golf Carts, Tampa location, Clearwater location, discoverygolfcars.com as well. I've got my beautiful Keller Williams Red. I love getting out and enjoying that out either with my dogs, or sometimes I use it for commercial use. So you got residential use, commercial use. Golf Cart Depot, a.k.a. Discovery Golf Carts. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, I'm going to give you one hot listing for this segment, 8001 U.S. Highway 301 out in Riverview. This property, it is 2 for 1. You've got 2 buildings, commercial property, 2 buildings on the parcel. It's a corner intersection, 4181 square feet, 33 parking spaces, 40 to 50,000 vehicles a day coming by. Busy lot intersection and busy corner lot intersection. And it's a great opportunity. Right now, it's operating as the Riverview Sandwich Shop. Owner's ready to sell it. Reach out and see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we got a great example of our expert contributors, a business owner in Tampa Bay, Gregg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks, Brandon. It's great to be back in here.
Yeah, man, good stuff. So, yeah, a lot of stuff happening out there, geopolitical, all these different things. But, this show's different. We want to try to help educate and let people understand more about their buying decisions. And, of course, when it comes to the air conditioning unit, this time of year, it's so hot and humid, that thing starts acting up on you. It's a big deal.
Yeah, most definitely. We work our air conditioners hard here. I'm originally from the northeast part of the country. Been down here for 20 years now, but up there we were used to an air conditioner, running maybe 600 to 800 hours a year. Down here, 3,000 plus hours a year is what we run them. So they get a good workout. They don't last as long. They're worked harder. So it's important to take care of them and give them the best chance that you can to make them last.
Yeah, it is. And we always, talk about the indoor air quality. It's such a key component of having a healthy life and understanding, that, what's your health worth? Because a lot of people are suffering down here in Florida. There's high pollen levels. There's high levels of different, talk a little bit about that indoor air quality.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you pay attention to the news right now with the fires going on in California and Oregon and the West Coast, it's a hot topic out there. I read an article yesterday that in like Home Depots and Lowe's and stuff like that, the portable room air cleaners, you can't get them right now. They're gone. They're off the shelves because the smoke is so bad out there that people are doing everything they can to try and clean up the air in their house. So that this article was talking about taping your windows shut and doing all that to keep that intrusion from coming in.
Wow.
The interesting thing is that the EPA tells us that the traditional American home, the indoor air quality is about 5 times worse than it is outside. Now, right now in the West Coast, it's probably the reverse of that. The indoor air quality outside is really bad right now, so they're trying to keep it from getting in their home. But here in our part of the country where we're not having that right now, the air that we're breathing in our homes is a lot more polluted than outside. So it is important to think about that, and there are basic steps that can be taken, to help with that. If you do have a central air conditioner system, just keeping that system clean, that alone will do wonders as far as keeping the pollutants in the air from circulating back into the home. So just a maintenance regimen is important. If there are more bigger concerns about bacteria, viruses, molds, mildews, there are different products that can be used to help with that in conjunction with the air conditioning system. But just a basic maintenance is a very simple step that definitely helps with that.
But when we come back, I want to talk more about that UV lighting program, your VIP program as well, and that UV light addition that will kill some of the other airbornes in the home and help keep the air clean. It looks like we might be adding one onto our home, courtesy of the AC guy of Tampa Bay. So stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We've got a brave new teen saves mom. Brave teen saves mom and 3 children by pulling them from burning car in our feel-good story of the day. Also coming up, Kevin Overstreet, property prequel. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Johnny, let me know when you want to continue. Alrighty, everybody stand by, please.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in your buying decisions, making you more street smart. We don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. We're going to help you understand more about your buying decisions right here in Tampa Bay, your number one consumer advocate program. And 7 years on air now. Really excited about that. And all of our expert contributors are the best in their specific industry. And they are coming into the show to help you, learn a little bit more about things affecting you on a daily basis right here in Tampa Bay. Giving a shout out to Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. Replenish IV Solutions. Say hello to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan. They offer these vitamin infusion drips, and it's going directly into your bloodstream. It's great for a hangover if you ever have those, but it's awesome just for maintenance as well. I love it. Once every 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going in. I'm getting the vitamin C's, the B's, the extra zinc thrown in there. Replenish IV Solutions. They've got 3 locations now in Tampa. Gandy Boulevard. They've got a Barris location and also another Pasco area location. Plus, they will come to you. They will come to your home or office and hook you up with the vitamin infusion drip. Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay. We got some great opportunities. We got 520 George Street South. This property is right on the lake in Tampa Bay. It's on Tarpon Springs, Lake Tarpon, 520 George Street South. Waterfront beauty here in Tampa Bay. And this property will come with a private boat dock, mother-in-law suite, and just a great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. 1010 Bay Esplanade is another property. Clearwater Beach. This is a gorgeous home. 1010 Bay Esplanade is on the north side of Clearwater Beach, basically Millionaire's Row when you're living there on the waterfront, close to the beach. It's the number one beach in the world. 3151 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, brand new remodel kitchen, 2-car garage, private apartment, private sun deck, and so much more. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, more from the AC guy of Tampa Bay, Gregg Bowman, in the house. Greg, we talk a lot about, this year has been crazy year. 2020's got to go down as one of the craziest in the history, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, unbelievable.
Definitely say that. With COVID and the wildfires out west, the hurricanes we've had already, it's been something, that's for sure.
Political
jumbo
every year.
I didn't even want to bring that one up, but
yeah, exactly. So it's a challenging time, but people, there's solutions. I think that's the cool thing about human beings and American capitalism is there's innovation. So there's been some really neat innovations in the indoor air quality, air conditioning space this year.
Most definitely, with the technology that's available now, we don't have to worry about polluted indoor air. We've got the technology to be able to fix that. Just like when I grew up, I remember taking a cup out of the cupboard and going to the kitchen sink and filling it and drinking it. Today, I would not think about doing that anywhere. Maybe if I lived in, North Dakota or something like that, out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But we just don't trust the water.
We did the water hoses.
Did you? Okay,
yeah. They were playing football, just grab the water hose.
Yeah. Not today anymore. We're very cognizant about what might be in that water.
Right.
And I think that we need to become equally aware of what's in the air we're breathing. And realize that we don't have to worry about it if we take steps to minimize that. The technology's there. We have all kinds of devices that can handle that. A lot of them bundle different technologies into one package so that they can, address the different areas of indoor air quality. And fix those for us.
What's the one that we're looking at? Because I think I finally got the wife talked into getting this thing. She suffers from asthma, and I've been saying, hey, let's add this on. This is our, hopefully our forever home. We love this house. We just built it. We're on the waterfront, beautiful home. But this is something where you can really improve your indoor air quality, and how. Lung cancer comes about, all these different things that come about, and of course, just the common cold and all those things. Talk a little about that product that we're looking at getting added?
Yeah, well, there's a couple different versions that we've been talking about, but the Remy Halo, I think, is the primary one we've talked about. That combines actually 6 different technologies in addressing indoor air quality. It uses it would be difficult to get into what those technologies are. We need somebody here with a PhD to explain all those. But basically, it uses a UV light, which is an ultraviolet light, a wavelength of light that. When we are outside, we wear sunglasses to protect our eyes from UV rays. It basically uses those UV rays in a concentrated form to kill indoor, molds, mildews, bacteria, viruses. But then it combines with that some other technologies that will create ions and oxides in the air to remove chemicals out of the air, neutralize airborne bacteria, molds, mildews, things like that throughout the home. But it's a great product. We've had trouble this year with keeping them on shelves and being able to get them. Actually, for month of June, even parts of May, we couldn't get them. Period. They were just out of stock because it's also very good at treating viruses. So a lot of them were going to China since China had the whole COVID thing first.
Wow.
But they're back in stock and available again.
Yeah. And I saw an article too somewhere. I can't remember if they were putting them. Just these bright lights coming into doctors' offices or maybe sporting events or malls or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think that technology, it's getting more and more proven. Most definitely. It's definitely been used in commercial aspects for a long time. This technology has been used heavily in emergency surgical rooms. When you're going to go into a room, you want that environment to be sterile. Right. That technology now can be used in your home, to provide the same benefits. That makes sense. We got about a couple minutes left here, Greg. Tell us about your VIP program. Our VIP program is our maintenance program. It's basically a twice-a-year maintenance where we come out and clean your system. We actually did a little in-house survey with our guys just to kind of look at what the value is that we're delivering, and we talked about the different tasks that we go through and what we would charge for those if we were only going out to the house to do just that. And the combined value is around $950 of services that we provide to our VIP clients in those maintenances that we provide. But it's all for $14 a month. So, nice. $168 a year, basically. We come out twice a year, maintain your system, make sure it's clean and operating in its best condition, look for any potential issues and catch them before they become a major hit to your pocket, and get them addressed. Maintaining your system on a program like that will improve the lifespan. So, average life of an air conditioner today is 10 to 12 years is what they put the average life at. When you talk about, one of the biggest investments in your home is the air conditioner. Roof is probably bigger, but the air conditioner is right up there as far as cost. So a lot of people make the mistake of putting it in the house, and then as long as it's working, they forget about it. Yeah. It's a big expense to gamble on that. You wouldn't think about driving your car for 10 years and never taking it in for service. You really should do the same thing with your air conditioner. Get it serviced routinely, and that's what our VIP program is about. It's very easy to forget your air conditioner because it is working, and as long as it's working and you're cool, you don't worry about it. But our VIP program is just to kind of set it and forget it. We'll take care of it for you and make sure that your air conditioner is getting the love that it needs. I love it. Gregg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay, longtime friend of the program. Support him by visiting acguyoftampa.com. acguyoftampa.com. Thanks so much, Greg. We appreciate it, man. Yeah, thanks. It's great to be on the show again. Always a pleasure, my friend. Coming up, we've got Kevin Overstreet. He's going to talk about his program called Property Prequal and what that can do to help you speed up your real estate transactions and eliminate a lot of the hassle, a lot of the kickbacks that you get from appraisals, inspections, termites, issues with that. Kevin Overstreet, entrepreneur and expert contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Plus, our feel-good story of the day. Find out about these teens that saved 3 children by pulling them from a burning car in our feel-good story. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253. Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Letting you know about a couple of hot listings here. 5510 South Elkins. This is a vacant lot in South Tampa. It's in Ballast Point. And a great opportunity to build your dream home right here in beautiful South Tampa. 5510 South Elkins is a 12-minute ride to downtown Tampa and is zone residential. Great opportunity right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Also, we've got 6417 Yvette Drive. This is in Hudson. It's on the waterfront. Beautiful property, waterfront home, bay access. Bring your boat. And this is a second-story wooden deck as well. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, almost 2,000 square feet. Deep water, saltwater canal. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, every day we're going to tell you something good in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we've got an 18-year-old man from Connecticut was honored by the police as a hero for rescuing a family of 4 from a burning vehicle. Justin Gavin, 18, was on a walk from Walgreens when he saw a car on fire, and he says, quote, "I'm yelling, stop the car, your car is on fire, your car is on fire," Gavin told the news network. And then he chased them down, the burning car, and the family to help them escape. He opened the driver's side door, pulled out the mother first, officials said. As flames grew larger, he then pulled the 3 children from the backseat to safety, including 4, 9, and 1-year-old who was in a car seat. And he says he was quoted as scared. He was because I didn't know whether the car was going to blow up at that instant. And the driver told the police the 18-year-old saved all 4 of their lives. Feel good story of the day coming from you out of Connecticut. Cool story right there. And we're welcoming in Kevin Overstreet, property pre-qual. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, sir. Nice to be here as always.
Yeah, man. Good to have you in. And when we talk about real estate, it's always a challenge. You've got the ups, the downs, the inspections, the appraisals, a big process, and you've got a unique property pre-qual system that will help eliminate a lot of that hassle.
I do. Yes, it's to simplify, it's replacing due diligence with done diligence.
Nice.
So it's just kind of reversing a lot of the sequence that's contained in a typical real estate transaction. However, if it's all right, I'd like to not talk about PPQ too much today.
Cool.
Because I actually have an exciting update to the book that we've talked about.
Oh, good. Okay.
So as you know, I recently authored, it's not quite out yet because the whole process is a little longer than I thought, but a book called The Fraudshine State, and it is exposing the epidemic of house stealing in Florida, something almost no one has heard of, and everyone who owns a property is susceptible to. And I don't want to go into the details of it too much because I know we're limited on time, but it does contain 4 stories, 4 stories of different people. And one is Matt Cox, who we've had on this show before, and he was found guilty of stealing and doing a lot of other things to over 109 properties or 109
American
properties.
Greed.
Yeah, American Greed did a whole episode on him, as well as Dateline featured him a couple times, and he ended up getting caught and serving 12 plus years in prison and got out last July. So he's
what the book is about a particular type of crime, and it's exactly what he committed. So with anything that people don't know about or they haven't heard of, they're very skeptical. So, hey, your house can be stolen. Well, no, I've got a shotgun. I'll protect my home. They don't want your home.
It's a different game, isn't it?
They take it from a public record standpoint, and then they can sell it or finance it or whatever. Yeah. And what so the book is about that and how it happens and when it happens and everything, but it's also offering a solution. So the website to find the solution is propertyfirewall.com. So that's one of the companies that I've created, and this one is specifically for stopping this type of crime from happening to particular properties. And it's basically a subscription that you enroll your property, and then that title is not only monitored, but we also place something in public record that makes it basically impossible for the criminal to choose your property, much like having an alarm system when no one else does or something.
Yeah.
But another story is a real story, a true life story of a victim of title fraud, and her name's Linda. She lives in Miami, and she was actually evicted from her home after the title to the home was stolen. She spent 7 months homeless.
Oh,
and
my God.
Eventually the news got a hold of it, and then the police got a hold of it, and they figured out that the person who had committed that crime against Linda had done it to multiple homes, and they were able to reverse it or eliminate it by some court actions that are kind of complicated for this.
But that took over 7 months to do.
No, she was homeless and didn't know what the heck to do for most of that time.
Wow.
And then once people got a hold of it, then the process started to correct it. There's another story, which is a gentleman named LT, which is a fictitious story. It's you might say true to life story, but it's not a real person. It just came out of my head. And then the final story that I've been disappointed in so far until just now, a couple days ago, and I'll tell you what happened. But we've been calling it the Pinellas Fraudster because we have to be super vague. The issue began, and it's actually the thing that finally decided to write this book. My other title company, so I have two, Insured Title in Tampa and Synergy Title in Madera Beach. There was a gentleman who was attempting to sell 16 stolen properties using that title company, Synergy Title, as the facilitator, an unknowing facilitator. And we've got a brilliant, very detail-oriented closer there who caught that, figured out what he was doing, and the two of us were able to get Pinellas County Police involved, and then the FBI. And really until earlier this week, the punchline to that story has been disappointing. I was expecting to say something in the book like, look, law enforcement doesn't do anything. They don't understand the crime. We reported this almost 2 years ago, and that's not true. They do act, and it's thrilling what's been happening. So
were you able to kind of set them up, say, hey, yeah, come in for your closing. We need you to sign. And then...
No, we didn't want him anywhere around, and we knew what he was doing. So get law enforcement involved, and they'll either make it stop or scare him, or potentially put him away. So what has actually been happening is Pinellas County Sheriff's Office has done a fantastic job. They've had a detective on this case the entire time. So for about a year and a half, a little bit more, a detective at Pinellas County has been building this case. We finally spoke with him just recently, and it was remarkable. So they, instead of dropping the ball, they've been running hardcore with it. And he's almost done with his investigation. They found way more properties than we knew about, some outside of his jurisdiction, which means other counties, of course. And he's about 3 weeks away from being done with that. He then hands it over to the state prosecutor, and they decide what to do. And the detective is going to be interviewed for the book, adding some legitimacy and some facts that we didn't know.
Oh, wow. And
then hopefully the prosecutor as well. And the next time I'm talking about this particular story on this show, I can say the guy's name. I can say what he did.
Nice.
Because it becomes public record.
Got it.
And I'll be shocked beyond belief if he doesn't go away for a long time for the things that he's done.
That sounds like it, man. Kudos to you, Kevin, for taking all this time, writing the book, putting the book out there, being the epitome of a consumer advocate. I mean, that's what you're doing with this book and your property pre-qual program, and helping people keep their homes, because it's kind of like you hear about the identity theft. It's how many hours did it take to get your identity back, and then you got a situation where you were evicted from your home, you got to move the furniture back in if you were able to. So it's a challenging time. What are some of the time frames that you've seen that for people to really get back into their homes?
All over the place. It's impossible to find stats on how often it happens because it nearly always goes undetected.
Wow.
And sometimes because the criminal's a genius and is able to do everything correctly. This particular guy is not a sophisticated guy, very sloppy, but he had help. He had notaries at other title companies, either with him or he stole their stamp and was impersonating them. But yet your analogy to identity theft is great. The stat for identity theft, the most recent one I've seen, is the average loss, financial loss, when that happens to you is around $1,500, which is significant.
Yeah.
And then who knows what it's going to do to your credit and all of that. But when it's discovered, the average loss to the person for title theft, the victim, is $130,000. And we actually protect their title for a little bit less than you can have your identity protected for. But so I'm thrilled that this is a new development in this case, because what will be included in the book are basic instructions. When you find this, and this is very much for other title people, this is a plague that's hurting our entire industry, or the real estate industry, and we're the ones that are most likely to catch it. What happens with anytime you catch something, whether you want to make a complaint against another realtor for an ethics violation, or you want to write a bad review about a restaurant, you typically don't follow through on it because it's a pain. Who cares? I already yelled at him, whatever. And that can't happen with this title fraud, because if we find it, if a title person finds that, there will be basic instructions in the book on how to report it, what steps to take, how to be safe, and all of that. But the point is to report it. And I'm especially encouraged to say that because of what's happening with our friend in Pinellas. They'll take him down. And we thought he stole 16 properties. We have no idea how many happened in the 10 years before or whatever.
Right.
And how many did they find?
Right.
And Matt Cox, 109 properties in Ybor City primarily. Right. He was largely responsible for the extreme appreciation in Ybor City, because a $100,000 home becomes a $300,000 home, which sells and then becomes a comp for everybody in the neighborhood, and people are taking cash out and all of that. And guess when he was doing that? Right before the foreclosure crash.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. So it's remarkable and interesting and cool how all of the pieces come together. Over time. Yeah, it is. Wow. Yeah, a lot to hear. Fraudshine State is the book. Kevin Overstreet is the author. When is the book going to be finished? Well, got any pre-sales going on or anything like that? We do. Yeah, you can go to the website propertyfirewall.com and you can pre-order the book. And I believe it's like $10 or something. It'll be selling on Amazon for something closer to $20. And getting rich on book sales is not my plan, because that doesn't happen to most people. But it's more of an informative thing to just raise awareness about this and help everyone understand this is something that I either need to watch out for, and we explain to them how to do it, the do-it-yourself method of monitoring your title. Because if you don't want to pay for it, you still need to know how to do it. Right. And then we also encourage them to enroll in the program, obviously. And but as far as your question, when it's going to be published, it relies on a few things, such as there's no way I'm going to publish this thing without detective, whose name I can't say right now, without his interview in the book. We've got to get Matt Cox in there. So that'd be cool. It's kind of funny when you're writing a book about something that's dynamic and changing, and you're sometimes the one helping change it. It's hard to stop. Right. It's hard to say, okay, the book's done, because there's something else that's developing. So to combat that, what we'll do within the book, it'll have instructions on how to go to the right page on the site to see the updates. And we're certainly not going to know at the time of publishing if he's convicted and how badly he's convicted or how well. Nice. But we'll have updates for that online. Good stuff. All right. Always a pleasure having Kevin Overstreet in studio, entrepreneur, author, title company owner, property pre-qual, got multiple businesses. Always a pleasure, Kevin. Had a great show today. Dr. Harold Shinitzky kicked us off. Gregg Bowman, AC guy of Tampa Bay. Check us out online. Follow us at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. Consumer Quarterback Show page out there. And please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And check us out online at consumerqb.com. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.